they can, they have good feet. They can move well, and so you have to get in front of them. You have to get your hands on, and you have to play them on. And what Iowa does so well is they use them in so many different ways. Whether that's screens, whether that's throwing them deep, little crunch blocks, send them off to the flat. So they do a great job of utilizing them in as many ways as possible. So that's what makes it tough to stop, and that's what, obviously a big focus is going to be this week is how do we stop him, and how do we just attack their tight end in general.
We've seen Austin Brown start to get some work here in the last couple of weeks. What's he just been doing to earn some snaps in a safety room that's pretty competitive?
He's, I think last season obviously didn't get a ton of snaps, and this season every week you see him mature a little bit more and a little bit more. And the playbook is starting to come together for him, and he's just really starting to understand the game more. And that's, it comes with reps, and with him taking more reps in practice and now in games, you get that comfortability. You understand the game, you can see it, and everything slows down for you. So I think the reps that he's getting is great because it just makes him more confident and makes him ready for Saturdays.
I was for about 3 decades, we run that stretch outside zone type of scheme with the run game. I asked you because you're playing so much linebacker depth. Like, what is it about that scheme, about that blocking, that's so difficult for defenses to be able to stop, play in, play out?
I mean, you have to be sound. You can't fall asleep. You can't miss your gap. You can't fall back too soon. And that's what makes it dangerous. Is they have pullers. They have guys falling back. So you have to be able to, stay true to your assignment, know your responsibility, and execute that on every single play.
You may have answered this already, but you've been through a couple of these Iowa rivalry games. What does this game mean to you, and what do you feel the mark of UW-Iowa matchup is?
Yeah, this game is and always will be a physical matchup. That's who these two programs have been for the last 20, 30 years, and that's what both programs pride themselves on. And so, when we get to this week every year, we know it's going to be physical. We know it's going to be hard-nosed. We know that whoever dominates up front is ultimately going to win the game. And so that's the focus. And, you have to respect the opponent, respect the rivalry. And we have to prepare for it and just get ready to come in and know it's going to be a battle. And we're going to have to play 60 minutes of our best football.
And the way they focus so much on their tight ends, at least so far offensively, does that make it, make you have to be especially wary of like their outside receivers because maybe they become decoys? I mean, and other guys pop out for bigger plays. And I guess, I assume it might be obvious, but what's kind of how much of a concern or how much of is that something you have to kind of be wary of as you're kind of focusing in on, the strength of that offense, the tight ends?
Yeah, the strength is the tight ends, and when we understand how they want to use them and where they want to get them the ball, it makes the game a lot easier. And so we have to find Eric All, we have to find their other tight ends and be sound in that area and not fall asleep. And that's that's going to be a big part of the game is finding them. Make everyone else beat us. But coming into the game, it's take away the tight ends. That's what Iowa's known for. So we come in, we take that away. We're going to be all right.
Looking at last week, seemed like a lot less three safety looks and more so 4 down lineman looks. What does that change for you guys as a safety room? With only 2 of you guys out there, responsibilities wise.
I mean, it's going against Rutgers last week. It was a lot more. They wanted to run the ball. They wanted to be physical up front and get downhill. And so that's turns into part of our responsibility is we have to show up in the run game. We have to be present, and then we have to stay on top and eliminate the big plays because that's what teams that want to run the ball do. They run it and run it and run it, and then either one run shoots out or they hit a big play over the top. So our responsibility just becomes more show up in the run and eliminate the big play.
Last week, it seemed like tackling, you guys shored that up, were able to stop those gains. Was that an emphasis kind of going into the bye week, obviously after the first few weeks of the season? And how did that kind of come into fruition?
Yeah, it's an emphasis every week, and obviously we struggled the first few weeks with tackling, and we knew coming into last week that we had to show up and tackle and stop the run, and that's where they wanted to beat us. And so it's a mindset, and it's understanding. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a physical game, and we have to win up front, and that a lot of that comes from tackling, obviously. So when we take care of that, we're in a much better place.
You've been in obviously in a lot of plays, made a lot of tackles. I'm curious where, at this stage of the season, where are you feeling best about your game? Where do you feel if you're evaluating yourself, what are you happy with at least, going through 5 weeks?
I mean, I think I'm most happy with just how this team has answered the call every single week. Obviously, with week 2, with the loss to Washington State, it's a setback. It's not what we had in mind. And the way that the coaches have challenged us every single week, we've showed up, we've answered, we've come in with confidence, we've played with confidence, and we've done what's necessary. And in terms of myself, it's doing what is asked of myself and being there and doing whatever it takes to help the team.
Talking about rivalry week, with the way that Iowa is in the standings and also just the importance of this game, do you guys think it means a little more in the locker room to pull this one out?
I mean, every game, each game becomes bigger and bigger as the season goes on. And with this being a rivalry game, obviously it means a ton. And so is it different than a normal week? Yeah. I mean, there's a trophy on the line. This is a team that we've played for how many years now, and it's back and forth. It's always a battle. And so, yeah, it means more, and, it's respecting it, preparing for it, and coming in Saturday ready to play a tough, physical, long game and dominating 60 minutes of it.
Have you seen Coach Fickle and the new staff kind of buy into the rivalry week and things like that?
The biggest thing that they've talked about is just respecting it, and obviously you're gonna dislike the team you're playing. That's a big point of rivalries is the hate between the two teams. But you have to respect it. You have to respect who they stand for, what they do, what they've been, and then prepare in that manner and prepare for that, and to come out and know what kind of game it's going to be.
Defensively, what have you seen against Iowa's offense, looking as a defense, what have you seen the differences between Cade McNamara, Deacon Hill, and the way that they've incorporated the offense with the two different quarterbacks?
I don't think there's a crazy difference. I think it's still a run-first team. They want to win the battle up front and then use their tight ends a bunch, whether that's in the run game or the pass game. And obviously Eric All's a good player. They want to get him the ball as much as they can. And then they're going to take their shots deep with whether that's trick plays or just throwing it over the top. And so I don't think there's a huge difference in what they want to do with the two different quarterbacks. It's just understanding how they want to attack you.